Can we talk about the unintentional sounds we make as we age? I am not exactly sure when it began. There was no official notice, no warning light, no letter in the mail saying, "Congratulations, your body will now make noises like an old house in a windstorm." It just sort of happened. One day I was in a store and bent down to look at something at the bottom shelf. That alone should qualify as an Olympic event at this point. While trying to get back up without taking the entire display down with me, I made a sound. Not a cute little sigh, not even a polite grunt. It was a full-on groan, like an old leather sofa giving up after 40 good years. Naturally, I looked around to see if anyone had heard me. Then I made it worse by quietly talking to myself. At that point, I thought, this is it. That is the part nobody tells you about aging. It's not just the aches and pains, it's the sound effects. You do not simply sit down anymore. You lower yourself with commentary. You do not get up quietly either. You rise like an old drawbridge with effort, suspense, and a soundtrack. And why do we all suddenly make that ugh, ugh noise? You know the one, you bend and you go ugh, or you reach and you go ugh, or you sit and you go ugh, ugh, and you're making these sounds, and at some point that sound becomes more of a lifestyle. Then there is the grabbing onto things. I used to walk through a room. Now I travel through it using furniture for support, like I am crossing a river on stepping stones. The counter, the chair, the side table, the wall. Nothing is decorative anymore. Every object in the house has been reassigned as safety equipment. And in public, it is even worse. You try to look casual while using a shopping cart for emotional support. You lean on shelves in stores as if you're simply comparing brands when really you're thinking, if this cereal display shifts even slightly, we are all going down together. I have neck injuries from a car accident, and now my neck cracks so loudly it sounds like I am snapping celery beside my own head. Sometimes it is so bad I pause afterward and wait to see whether I am still structurally sound. I remember when I used to hear older people making these sounds and think, oh my goodness, oh my gosh, how dramatic. I would like to apologize to all of them now. They were not being dramatic. They were narrating a mechanical failure in real time. The strange thing is, I cannot pinpoint exactly when it started because aging does not arrive all at once. It sneaks in gradually. One day you jump out of bed, the next day you roll to the edge, sit there for a moment, and mentally prepare for lunch. Even our bodily functions lose all sense of discretion. A tiny burp now comes out sounding like a tugboat announcing its arrival in dense fog. And gas? That is no longer something you can trust. At this age, you do not pass gas. You take a gamble. You try to hold it in. Your body responds like an offended goose. Then, when it finally escapes, it sounds less like a bodily function and more like someone dragging a dining room chair across a gym floor. Embarrassing does not even begin to describe it. You never know whether to say, "Excuse me," or "Nobody move." The more I think about it, the more I realize the human body is basically like an aging car. The outside starts to show wear. The paint is not what it used to be. Things rust. Things sag. Things do not respond as quickly in cold weather. There are mysterious noises that nobody can identify, but everyone agrees are concerning. And if you put the wrong fuel in it, oh, you're going to regret it. Just like eat junk late at night and your body will make you pay like a crooked mechanic. Heartburn, regret, strange stomach noises, and a night spent wondering if this is indigestion or your final chapter. When we were younger, we could eat anything. Now, one spicy meal after 7 p.m. feels like a personal attack. And just like a car, the body becomes less forgiving with neglect. If somebody tells you not to overdo it and you do it anyway, the next morning your body files a complaint with management. You wake up with an injury you did not even earn doing anything exciting. Not from skiing, not from dancing on tables. No, you hurt yourself sleeping, or putting on your socks, or turning too quickly because somebody called your name. That is humbling. Yes, you can replace parts on a car. And yes, we can replace parts in ourselves too: knees, hips, teeth, lenses. At some point, you start sounding less like a person and more like a renovation project. Cars get paint jobs, people get Botox, hair color, creams, serums, peels, and procedures with names that sound far more relaxing than they actually are. You wax the car, you moisturize your face, you buff out scratches, you conceal age spots, you change the oil, you drink more water than you want and apply cream to places you did not even know could get dry. This is maintenance now. This is not vanity. This is preservation. And just as a car rusts with oxidation, we wear down with time. That is life. Still, I do not think of myself as some worn out old wreck. I prefer to think of myself as an antique. I am a 1956 model female from Northern Ontario, Canada, built from sturdy stock, made in an era when things were solid and built to last. Back then, they did not make cars flimsy, and they did not make people flimsy either. And as far as I am concerned, I have much more to offer than a shiny 2026 model that just rolled off the lot and still has not had the bugs worked out. I may creak a little, I may groan when I stand, I may make alarming sounds for no apparent reason, but I have character. I have mileage. I have stories. I know things. A newer model may have fewer rattles, but it has not been through a Northern Ontario winter. Heartbreak, hard work, bad coffee, good friends, loss, laughter, raising people, losing sleep, surviving life, and still showing up. That counts for something. And yes, like every car eventually ends up in the scrapyard, one day we will all return to dust. But until then, I plan to keep this vintage model going. A little slower, perhaps, a little noisier, definitely, but still on the road. And if I make a few unexpected sounds getting out of a chair, so be it. That is not the sound of falling apart. That is the sound of experience.